Paris FC, the little brother, PSG's main rivals you don't really hear about. Over in League Dart, there's a second team in the City of Love, which needs some love themselves. They're critical about domestic success, but haven't really achieved much domestic success. Make it make sense. Today, we'll be sharing some love to Paris FC in an attempt to grow the club, grow the squad to be better than PSG and take home the Champions League. We all know how much money PSG get to spend every transfer window. And then there's another Paris-based club who get a measly £6 million in the transfer budget. Yeah, this is the classic French road to glory, and we're applying a main focus to young French talent and, of course, the youth academy. They've been a sleeping giant for way too long and deserve their time in the spotlight to climb to the top of French football. Get your baguettes and snails at the ready because this is going to be a long-term project. This is a roster that's going to need a lot of work, and only a manager like Sir BCHD can get the best out of these lads. We might not be on PSG's radar as of yet, but here is how I want the other side of Paris to be playing. I want them defensively to press after possession loss, have fast build-up play, and direct passing when it comes to chance creation. Trust me, this is how we're going to crack the code and rise to the top here in France. With our limited transfer budget this summer, there is only one place to look for, and that is the youth academy. We have got our homegrown talent just waiting to be called up to the senior team. Augustin Remy could be the son of Loic Remy, who knows? However, the 17-year-old is a left footer, 6'6", an absolute unit, 74 to 94 potential, 5-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot already, and has a solid player trait, which you rarely see in youth academy players these days. I'm impressed. I like what I see. He was just asking to be promoted to the senior team. He's automatically becoming the best player in the squad. Slim pickings right here, but beggars can't be choosers right now. We'll be calling up the young Croatian, hoping to unearth a hidden gem. Similar story goes with Ignacio Quintero. He's got the playmaker trait already. He has got creative genes in his DNA, and we just gotta hope the dynamic potential does its job. Welcome to the senior team, mate. You're all getting the call up. He's our strongest starting 11 with our homegrown talent plugged into the mix. He's our 6'6" poster boy from day one. Some of our best players here at the club are only on loan as well, so we've got that to consider. Gaining promotion would be a dream in our first season. However, the board want us to win the league title. They are setting the standards high and also want a pretty decent cup run as well. Let's try to be as resourceful as possible this summer and get the ball rolling. Now, our first piece of business this season isn't even a transfer. It's just some admin-based action. We're going to record Diakite on his loan spell at Le Havre because he is one of the youngest and best players in the team. For some reason, he is loaned out and not under my watch. He'll be returning back to the club and slotting straight into our starting 11. This team needs a youth injection and fast. It's the start of new humble beginnings. The French Revolution is getting underway here at Paris FC, and we've made our first major deal. Sir BCHD attracting some youth talent from the top flight. We've struck a deal with Olympique Lyon to introduce a brand new midfield starlet, Johan Lepenant, for £2.25 million. He arrives on a permanent basis, no loan spells here, as we got him for well under his valuation. The 19-year-old showing great potential is automatically going to be a starter. Olympique Lyon have developed the reputation in FIFA and career mode to being an absolute talent factory of wonder kids year after year. They just provide, and our first major deals have been poaching some of their best up-and-coming hidden gems. And again, we've recruited from Lyon, this time for a right-back, Irvin Lamami. It's a swap deal with Jordan Lefort, plus 56k. That's right, baby, the swap deals are back, and Sir BCHD is on a rampage when it comes to the transfer market. Not to toot my own horn, but I feel like we got the best out of that deal. A 28-year-old left-back heads the other way, and we get a teenage prospect for 56k. Absolute peanuts. I think I've garnered a little bit of a reputation with you guys when it comes to my transfer business over the years. We love a good little swap deal, love them or hate them, Sir BCHD gets around them. And again, we have prevailed here with yet another signing, and it's from another French big boy. We've acquired Logan Delorier-Chabot. It was just too good of an idea not to follow through with, and we get an A-grade deal. He can play on either side of the wing, is an up-and-coming French superstar that I've wanted to sign for a couple of career modes now. He's showing great potential, and he is ready to light up Ligue 2 and shoot Paris FC to promotion. Now, I know too many swap deals can be unrealistic. However, we like to use the most effective transfer methods available, especially when we're a club of Paris FC's size. We have to be very efficient with our limited resources, but this swap deal, this trade offer, was actually initiated by the AI themselves. We went after Tel, a brand new French talent on the scene from Bayern Munich. The Bavarians wanted Ousmane Kante, plus 350k, in one of the weirdest exchanges slash arrangements I've ever seen. Our BTEC Kante is off to Germany. Still at only 17 years of age, he is is showing great potential and is going to lead the line for us for years to come. We've got a little bit trigger happy early doors here at Paris FC. However, now it's time to usher a few players out the door and get these departures flowing. We need to raise the funds. Draining the transfer budget doesn't come easy as we ship off Cyril Manduki. He joins LASK for £1 million on the dot, and his fellow aging midfield partner Paul Lasney will be joining Valencia for just over £1 million. We've got some more minor player sales to report on as we have more deadwood being shifted out the club. Julian Lopez, the Algerian, now joining Ronaldo at Al Nassr for £1.2 million. One position you just have to get right when it comes to these long-term rebuilds is the goalkeeping spot, and it's definitely an area of concern which I raised this summer. We needed to get it sorted before we kicked off the season. So BCHD will be welcoming in his brand new number one of choice. It's another pickup from Lyon. At this point, we're trying to overtake them and not PSG, but it's Chevalier, who has been a career mode staple for a few years now, a solid wonder kid choice in between the sticks. Lucas will be arriving for his base valuation of £2.5 million, still showing great potential here in FIFA 23, and it's going to be our mainstay French shot stopper. If we get this one right, Brahim Traore could be my find of the year. An 18-year-old hidden gem, can play centre back / CDM, is versatile and is from Cannes. Just a straight up trade between Yusufa and Di. We're going player for player as we've expressed a great interest in the lad who will be arriving with no fee attached. Even the menus are reporting that we got him for -£1. It's the slow and steady squad turnover that this team desperately needed, and finally Sir BCHD is getting the job done behind the scenes as we ship off yet another aging player. Florent Hanin, the not so young boy, will be moving to Young Boys for just under £1 million. 960k is the agreed fee. Now, I didn't think this deal could be possible in the first season, let alone our first transfer window, and it would have been rude of us not to go after one of the most exciting prospects in French football in recent years, the teenager that has burst onto the scene at, you guessed it, Olympique Lyon. It just feels like we're slowly transforming this club into Lyon B, but it's Ryan Cherki. The dynamic, skillful baller will be arriving, gets our brand new number 18, and will make himself at home one of the star boys of French football, and will be the marquee signing for us at Paris FC for £4.2 million. We agreed a bargain with the top flight club. I'm surprised he's actually dropped down a level in order to join this project. That's how much faith he has, converting him into a fully fledged right winger. That is going to be our game plan for Cherki for the start of season 1. And boy oh boy, that is a dream signing we have turned into a reality. Surely now that propels us to become one of the promotion favourites here in Ligue 2. You know what? I'm so confident in these young lads we've been able to group together that I'm just going to terminate the loans of Ilan Kabal, the Algerian. He has no long-term future at the club. I'm not interested. And same goes with Mehdi Chahiri. The man's 26 but looks like he's 35, so we'll be saying goodbye and terminating his loan spell too. We've sorted out our dream signings, but it's still time to sell a few players and raise some funds for future seasons. This time we have offloaded Warren Caddy. He'll be joining Darmstadt over in Germany for £1.4 million. After all that summer action, here is our first team starting 11 with a front three looking absolutely deadly. The midfield department looking spot on. The defense can be improved. Anything is possible right now. Paris FC is embarking on a brand new era, and those are all the signings we got done. An extremely productive window. Let's get season 1 out the way and see what the lads can do. We had a treble of loan deals accepted after the transfer window was over, so we've got Karamoko, our young centre back, off to Mirandes on a 2-year loan deal. Decambario embarking to Sud Tirol in Serie B for a 2-year loan spell, and Quintero off to Hamcam Football. He is also on a 2-year loan spell. So yeah, I just love experimenting with loans. Who knows, maybe these guys can come back and their potentials will be boosted to the max. The first major objective is complete. Paris FC are back in the big time, promoted to Ligue 1 after winning the title pretty comfortably, acquiring 82 points in the process, avoiding the playoffs, and yeah, they are going to be battling it out in the top flight for season 2. Over in the Coupe Nationale, it was PSG to make the final. However, we did get knocked out in the round of 16 of Montpellier 2-1. We had one main focus and we stuck to it. We achieved our objective and also took home a piece of silverware. Now let's see who are the main characters and protagonists in this promotion push, as we have our summer signing, our new hitman striker Matthias Tell, 19 goals and 4 assists. We had multiple players getting double figures in terms of finding the back of the net. Ryan Cherki, our most expensive signing to date, 17 goals and 4 assists for the lad who has potential to be special. And Delorier Chabot, he picked up a long-term injury towards the back end of the season, but the 21-year-old still managed 19 goal contributions. And it's Augustin Remy, our homegrown talent, who has no doubt that played a part in our promotion campaign with 11 goals and 18 assists, the only player to achieve double figures in both departments. Beautiful stuff, and it's the man we recalled from his loan spell, Checo Akite. From the middle of the park, he got himself 8 goals and 4 assists, and someone that has taken me by surprise, Johan Hadjam, the 20-year-old left back with 6 goals and 3 assists from the back line, and it's Johan Lepenant with 2 goals and 4. So he needs to up those numbers if we want to have any hope of survival next season, as look at this growth. We've got the likes of +5s all across the board. The development plans are kicking in, and this youthful team is getting better and better by the week. We came, we saw, we conquered, and we did it our own way with youth domestic talent. However, the mission doesn't stop there. The show goes on. We transition over to season 2. We are now battling it out in a whole new league where the objective is survival. And as a reward for our promotion to League 1, we have been gifted with £15 million to work with this summer. Let's get down to business. If we want any hope of beating the drop this season and fighting it out in League 1, we've got to improve our defense and get a brand new commander in our backline. That's why we've spent the big bucks. It is our most expensive signing to date, standing at £6 million. It is Anthony Roalt, arriving from Toulouse for £1.5 million, less than his valuation. So yet again, Sir BCHD has snapped up another bargain here, and automatically he becomes our best central defensive option. Literally spending half of our transfer budget on this one player, so I hope he pays off and gets us a couple clean sheets. It's about time we've done a deal with our arch nemesis. We've done a deal with the devil here as PSG. We've gone into transfer negotiations with the oil-rich money club, our older brother who we are looking to take down this season, pursuing the services of Timothy Pembele. Forget the Dembeles, it's time for Pembele to shine, as the versatile defender can play pretty much anywhere on the right-hand side, plus do a shift at centre-back, so he provides cover. He's the first trader to switch to the light side, and let's face it, join the better side of Paris for £4 million. I believe he can live up to the hype, fulfill his potential, and finally get himself the game time he deserves. Can you believe it? It's 2 deals in a row with our arch rivals. PSG again have allowed us to do business with them as they offload one of their up-and-coming hidden gems who was out on loan in season 1, so put up a barrier to entry. We weren't able to pursue him, and now we finally get our hands on Mishit. We take advantage of the Parisian talent factory as Edouard joins us for £2 million on the dot. The young gun again is one of those wonder kids who are stuck at a big club, not really getting the minutes and game time they need to grow and develop. The French project gains another exciting prospect. After we've introduced midfielder after midfielder, this time a player returning from their loan spell, Demonsi, will be departing the club for $860k. The 27-year-old joining Orlando City over in the MLS, so that's another piece of deadwood shifted out the club. We're on a little hot streak at the moment, freeing up the wage bill and cutting the roster down after we have sold Pierre-Yves Hamel. He's joining the Belgian side Union for £1 million. And we've also agreed a long-awaited move for our South African midfielder, Fury, another old soul who just get no minutes on the ground this year as he joins LAFC, another MLS departure for just over £1 million. Here we go. I can already see the comments flooding in. Why are you signing yet another Olympic Lyon player? Well, my friends, El Arauch is not only in our financial ballpark, he fits our budget. We also needed some firepower off the bench, a secret weapon we can bring on in the dying embers of the game and make an impact. Not only is he a backup cam for our homegrown talent, but I want to convert him into a backup striker / center forward. We've agreed to deal with Olympic Lyon yet again. How many times have I said that in this video? For £2.4 million. It's going to be a slow and steady process. Trust the process, trust the vision, and someone who I feel like is a brand new signing, but isn't. It's just a player returning from a loan spell, Andy Pembele. Now we've got 2 Pembeles in the team. I don't know if they're brothers. I don't know if they're related. It's another one of these faceless youth academy players out on loan. This time, Johan Corre joining Heidenheim on a 1-year loan spell. 4 players in, 4 players out. We've tried to focus a little bit more on quality this year, and as a result, this is how our starting 11 is looking headed into season 2, our survival campaign. The new boys Mishut and El Arauch will be deployed in off the bench. For the rest of the starting 11, things have pretty much stayed the same. We've also made a second team sheet, the backup brigade, trying to boast our depth in the team, but that's still a work in progress. Well, you really got to see it to believe it right here. We have avoided the relegation battle by a long stretch. Nowhere near the bottom 3/4. We have skyrocketed up into 8th place, getting 55 points, nearly getting European competition. We didn't pull any of our punches, and PSG didn't even win the league. It was Stade Rennais. What is going on here in France? Because every time I look at Ligue 1 in other career modes, it's just PSG dominating, but maybe they've fallen from grace. It could be Paris FC's time to overtake them under Sir BCHD. However, over in the Coupe Nationale, it will be the famous derby PSG PSG vs Marseille in the final, as we were knocked out to our big brothers PSG 3-1 in the round of 16 in a famous Paris derby. Watch this space, we are out to get revenge in the not too distant future. However, these were the players, these were the performances that got us that 8th place finish. Finishing well above mid-table mediocrity, and our highest goal scorer was Rayan Cherki, converting that second division form to the top flight with 15 goals and 3 assists. We had our French sharpshooter leading the line, Matthias Tell, with 20 goal contributions, Delorier Chabot with an outstanding campaign, setting up 13 and getting himself 9 goals, and the captain, Augustin Remy, despite his mid-production with 8 goals and 10 assists, his growth has everyone talking. A +5, now shooting him up to an 87. We're seeing upgrades all over the park, +4s, +5s, and the same goes for Le Pennant, the 21-year-old with 5 goals and 4 assists. It's a +4 for the faceless Diakite, and Mohamed El Arauch off the bench, only with a +2 but getting 4 goals and 2 assists. Mashout being another decent midfield option, and Timothy Pembele getting himself 3 goals from centre back. Of course, it's still a young and upcoming team, there's still plenty of room to grow, and even our lone players are getting some decent growth. Our main man in between the sticks, Chevalier, only getting 2 clean sheets though, so that might be something to worry about. His ability isn't filling me with confidence. The surprise package of Ligue 1, you can say we overperformed, but here we are, Paris FC, now fighting up the top. It's time now we become a staple of the top flight and start challenging for those European places. We've just got to avoid second season syndrome. This time around, after our survival, the board have gifted us only £23 million to work with, so not the best financial situation we're in, but we've got to adapt and learn with what we've got. Look at our boy Remy on the international stage as well, getting called up to the French national team. What a G. Now that we've built ourselves up to be competitive on the domestic scene, trying to compete on multiple fronts, we've had to change up the transfer strategy. We have had to throw the kitchen sink at this one and nearly drain our entire transfer budget allocated this season in order to guarantee performances, experience, wisdom in the locker room, a game face scan, and versatility. We've managed to tempt Oliver Boscagli, a fellow Frenchman, over from PSG for £18 million, and because his contract was expiring, we managed to snap him up on a cheaper deal. He's about to enter his prime and is one of the oldest players we have purchased so far, which is crazy to say considering he's 26. So he's just an overall beast of a utility option to have, and he is already one of our best players in the starting 11. And trust me, Boscagli, if it wasn't for Remy, he'd be captain material, a crucial puzzle piece in this entire Paris FC jigsaw. We had a bad egg start to blossom in our locker room. This man submitted a transfer request, and if you're not on Sir BCHD's side, you're getting shipped out the door. Pack your things, son, because you're off, and we have sold Julien Le Cardinal. He is moving over to Sheffield United. The Blades picking up for £1.6 million. Fresh off the back of 2 loan spells in the row, it is Johan Corre now moving to Herenveen in the Eredivisie for another 2-year loan spell. It wouldn't be a transfer window without an iconic Sir BCHD swap deal, and of course an Olympic Lyon signing. This time it is literally just a soul for a soul, an exchange for the backup brigade, as we aim to improve our squad depth and just options in our defensive backline. We've conjured up a deal offering up £1.7 million plus Maxime Bernoya, as Sayel Koumbedi was happy enough to join Lyon B. He arrives at Paris FC showing great potential, and it is a right back, left back. I just love that about him. And here is our strongest starting 11 headed into season 3. We are looking to qualify for Europe. We want to shoot for the stars and end this PSG dominance once and for all. The French connection is well and truly in full swing, so let's give it all we've got. It was a fall from grace for last season's champion Stade Rennais, going down to 6 as PSG claimed the top spot and back on the throne of French football, finishing in well and truly in the lead. Like, no one really challenged them besides Marseille. We've made a little bit of an improvement, up in 7th. I don't know if that's a Conference League spot or not, but I'm just going to go ahead and say we haven't got European qualification. It is an improvement upon last season's position, as it's Clermont, Foot Bordeaux, and Auxerre all to go down, with Metz potentially. Over in the Coupe Nationale, it looks like PSG have got an easy layup there to get another piece of domestic silverware, as we were knocked out even earlier than the round of 16, over in the round of 32, losing out 2-1 to Le Havre. However, it was a transitional year. We needed to stay stabilized in the top half of the table over in Ligue 1, secure our status yet again as a top flight club, as our highest goal scorer, the Golden Boot this season, is Delorier Chabot. He can do it all. He can assist, he can score, but this year he focused in on getting those goals with 17. We had our only striker at the club, Matthias Tell, 16 goals and 3 assists for the young 20-year-old. We've got Rayan Cherki, who always seems to deliver in the top 3 MVPs every year. He had a 15-goal, 4-assist type of campaign, and it's Diakite from the middle of the park, our box-to-box midfielder with 9 goal contributions Celebrations, and Augustin Remy, of course. He is our first 90 overall rated player, the homegrown talent with 12 assists and 6 goals. Proving his playmaking credentials, growing a +4 and a pennant from the midfield again with another +4, 3 goals and 4 assists for him. The Paris FC original Hadjam from left back with 2 goals and 5, showing up every single campaign and being a reliable force. Chevalier this season managed 7 clean sheets, so he's nearly getting there, nearly at the double digits. With our number 1 hitting 80 overall, that bodes well for the future, but the growth and development was still at an all-time high. But Augustin Remy is still top of the charts in terms of asset value. He's now got Cherki joining him in the 9-figure range, valued at £110 million. Dethroned PSG, qualify for Europe, take over the world. It's easier said than done, lads, especially with Sir BCHD and this Paris FC board who refuse to give us a decent transfer budget. Hopefully that changes around in Season 4, as this time the financial team have gifted us with £37 million. It's an all-time high. Is it enough to compete with the top dogs though and mount a title charge? I'm not quite sure. One of the main issues that came to my attention were the lack of attacking options we had in and off the bench. You know, just in case of injuries and suspensions, we've always got a plan for the worst case scenario. We introduced yet another attacking French talent that is yet to take the world by storm, but Paris FC is going to be that platform he needs. Sir BCHD is ready to transform him into an absolute monster, and that is Fares Chaibi. For £21.3 million, we pick him up from Toulouse. He's everything we love in a player: diverse, versatile, dynamic in attack. Quality-wise, he's not good enough to be a first-team starter week in, week out, but of course our brand new number 10 is going to be a backup option. 78 overall, 22 years of age. We've had our eyes on him for some time now, and I'm glad we could add him to the roster. A player we've also been tracking ever since Season 1 is Florent da Silva, and yes, he originates from Lyon. He's a product of their youth academy, however, he's now a free agent. It's free game, anyone can pick him up. He'll be joining us as a free agent. We pick him up for absolutely nothing, and it just adds yet another option for our midfield. Definitely going to be a main starter for our second team, the backup brigade. Similar to Chaibi, 22 years of age, yet to fully achieve his potential and reach his ceiling. With our current financial situation, 2 transfer deals were all we could muster this summer. That now brings our roster to 27. It's decent squad depth, not too many, not too little, just the right balance. Nonetheless, those 2 backup options are going to be vital for us this season. It is now or never. We've got to at least get Europa League qualification this year. If not, Sir BCHD is out of a job, so Paris FC, do your thing. This time around, you can really start to see the changing of the guard over in Ligue 1 as French football, Paris FC, has now started to make a meteoric rise to the top. We've claimed Champions League football, finishing runners-up in the league to, of course, it's PSG. They were just untouchable with 94 points as Stade Rennais and Olympique Lyon end up claiming the top 4 spots. We skip out on Conference League and Europa, go straight to the UCL, and that's what we got to look forward to in Season 5 with our best ever league finish over towards the bottom end of the table. It is Saint-Etienne, Lorient and Stade Brestois all getting relegated to Ligue 2. Not only that, we've got a little bit of a consolation prize, losing out to PSG in the league. However, we take home the Coupe Nationale. It is our first piece of silverware ever since our promotion from Ligue 2. In the big dance, it was a 3-1 win over Nantes in the final, and we are French domestic champions. Hey, a bit of cup silverware never hurt anyone. They put in that work, they grinded this season in order to be where they are right now, and we have some players to thank, I'll tell you that for free, as our top goal scorer, Matthias Tell, who's been with us since Season 1. His growth has been steady and consistent. He has now seen an 85 overall with 23 goals and 5 assists, claiming the golden boot. For the 2 players who have double figures in both categories, both Rayan Cherki and Augustin Remy, he is now well and truly a Ballon d'Or contender, our captain with over 31 goal contributions, single-handedly carrying this team alongside Cherki, the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse. The French Revolution goes from strength to strength, 22 goals, 13 assists for Cherki. These numbers, this production is just out of this world, as the Laurier Chabot took a little bit of a backseat this season, 8 goals and 6 assists for our dynamic winger, as Boscali with 4 goals and 1 assist from centre-back. Hadjam continues to impress at left-back with 4 goals and 2 assists, and Omar Diakite in the middle of the park. 9 goal contributions for the Paris FC OG. As now Chevalier, he's worked his way up to double figures in clean sheets. It's 10 for him in 43 appearances, and what a shot stopper he's turning out to be. Now at an 84 overall. In terms of market value, it is Augustin Remy now breaching past the £200 million mark, standing at £202 million. As this club is showcasing the right French talent assembled at the right time can achieve some outstanding results. It has been one of our most successful campaigns to date. However, can this team deliver on the continental scene? Battling on multiple fronts as we transition over to Season 5, almost half a decade under Sir BCHD's guidance. And boy, we are changing the course of history before our very eyes. The pressure is rising. Can the lads deal with it as we've been handed over a Champions League sized budget, £70 million to play with this summer, and it's time to bring in some dead set quality. I'm proud of the lads too. They're out on international duty, battling it out for France at the World Cup. You love to see it. Benoit Badiashile has been a career mode wonder kid option for a few years now, and finally we are putting pen to paper as we poach the Monaco Youth Academy talent over from Leicester City. We are making the deal official here, getting yet another quality centre back option. We need the roster to compete in multiple competitions, and some backup won't do us any harm, as we agree to deal with the Foxes for £42.4 million. It's our first major negotiation of Season 5, and Sir BCHD is just getting warmed up. Honestly, he has the quality to take over Boscagli in that centre-back spot, as the 25-year-old 6'4" unit is about to enter his prime. We ain't playing no games. We're not here just to participate in the Champions League. I want to be a red-hot contender, as we have stumbled across what I think to be the Benzema regen. I don't know what he's doing, chilling here in the free agents. He is yet to be signed by a club, as his current market value is $185.5 million. Arthur Schneider, it's just too good of a deal not to pursue. For absolutely nothing, we get a world-class Ballon d'Or worthy upgrade in at striker. Not gonna lie, it's not the most French-sounding name I've heard, but I'll take it. It's a deal that just makes sense, and this guy is going to be a problem in up front for us, taking home that starting spot every day of the week. Just as our boy Tell was starting to fire on all fronts, we have found an absolute diamond in the rough. And you guys know, I always allow myself at least one regen per rebuild, with attributes that are so dark green they are beaming off the page. How this man wasn't playing professional football week in, week out is a genuine crime to the game, and he's only 19 years of age. He could even get better. His arrival at the club is not taken lightly, and a signing like this, maybe a couple more, could push us past PSG, and we can officially assert our dominance over the French capital as he picks up our brand new number 11. So BCHD is going to have fun playing with his brand new toy, as that was also a cutscene segueing into the announcement of the sale of Morgan Guilavoggi, and that's just a sale to raise some funds. A Paris FC OG is finally saying farewell. Here's how the 2026 World Cup panned out for our French. Of course, we had a large Paris FC contingent there representing La Bleu. They finished top of Group G in the round of 16, took down Croatia 3-1 in a 2018 finals rematch. Over in the quarterfinals, they took care of business against Morocco just like they did in real life. However, over in the semis, they saw elimination 1-0 to Italia, and yeah, my boys, the Azzurri, went on to become world champions again, 2-0 against Belgium in the final. The likes of Remy and Cherki both got run-outs onto the pitch, and Remy with 5 goal contributions, absolutely tearing it up. We're out here making an impact for the French, not only for club but country. It's our first major entrance into European competition, thrown straight into the deep end here in the Champions League, drawn into Group C alongside Milan, PSV and Galatasaray. The boys have avoided the dreaded group of death, however it's still going to be a tough one to get out of. Let's hope they can do us proud. After a relatively low-key, low-action transfer window, here is how our starting 11 is now looking, with Schneider in the mix. Badiashile also overtakes Boscagli in the centre-back spot. Just viewing across the board, you can start to realise why France have made back-to-back World Cup finals, producing this calibre of youth talent all across the country. I don't know what's in the water, but they're doing something right. Let's hope they make a statement of intent and start to win a few pieces of domestic silverware along the way. All I'm going to say is PSG, I never heard of them. Bow down to your new French champions, winners of Ligue 1, Paris FC, nearly getting Centurion level status there with 98 points. It was a 2-horse title race at the end of the day, and our boys came out on top as Marseille and Olympique Lyon secure their top 4 positionings. This time it's Auxerre, Caen, Clermont Foot and Angers all involved in the relegation battle. We also got the better of our crosstown rivals in the Trophée des Champions, like the Charity Shield of France, in a 3-2 win. Got our season off on the right foot and kicked us into gear, as over in the Coupe Nationale, unable to make the final, get knocked out in the quarters to Lens 1-0. Unable to collect the domestic treble, but it is what it is. The Champions League saw us in Group C, and it was no means the group of death. However, we still somehow struggled there, finishing in second with 9 points. Qualifying out the group in the round of 16, we took down Barcelona 4-3 on aggregate, knocking out the Spaniards, and over in the quarterfinals, taking over Pep Guardiola's Man City 3-2, and the semi-finals was a stretch too far. The lads made a deep European run, however, losing out in the second leg 3-0 to Milan. They fumbled that first leg bag. Both Parisian juggernauts getting knocked out. It could have been an all-French, all-Paris final. However, Dortmund claimed the European crown 3-1 against Milan. It was almost a perfect season, but let's take a look and see how our lads performed. Who were the main stars in our journey becoming French champions? As it's Matthias Tell, who was unfazed by the arrival of Schneider, the 94 rated striker. He still got his game time and he still put in the work, finding the back of the net 29 times, 30 goal contributions. Rayan Cherki, who we knew was going to be a hit from day one, he's the teenage sensation, just continues to grow. At 23 with double figures in both departments, just like our homegrown talent, Augustin Remy, 31 goal contributions, 17 goals, 14 assists. He's a youth academy phenomenon that has carried us throughout this rebuild. Logan Delorier-Chabot, back on his goal scoring form, back on the grind with 16 and 6, and it's Checo Mardiakite. He's our no-face killer with 9 goals and 11 assists, and Arthur Schneider, who seems like he made cameos in off the bench. The assistant manager through the simulations not really favouring him. I don't know if that's just because he's a centre forward or Tell was just in too good form to drop, but 10 goal contributions, you expect so much more for a player of his ability. As Timothy Pembele got involved as much as he could at right back, 5 goals and 3 assists, Hadjam again. I love how a couple of day one Paris FC legends are still here and killing it. Jaibi off the bench with 3 goals and 2, Mischitz getting involved, and Johan Lepenant not really want to produce any goals or assists, but he's a consistent player that gets game time and is a natural leader. As our boy Lucas Chevalier in between the sticks, 13 clean sheets this season in 51 appearances. Count that up, we now have 4 90 overall plus players. Schneider, unfortunately, not living up to the hype. He's in bad form, but he's got time to turn it around in season 6. And you guessed it, top of the tree, our most valued asset right now, with a market valuation of £218.5 million. Our youth academy produced some platinum power. It's a highly prestigious club, 6 players in the 9-figure plus range. A domestic double, a deep run in the Champions League. This team mean business. They are serious. I think world football is starting to take notice, dethroning PSG in the process. Now it's time to do battle for the most prestigious prize, the Champions League. That right now is all we're focusing on. For the first time in this rebuild, I've got no real idea what to do with £108 million. We were crying out for more money every single year, but now I think we've got the puzzle pieces in play. We've assembled everything precisely and with a strict plan. I think now it's just time to focus on depth and quality. How can we improve our second team, the backup brigade? It's got to that stage where we're one of the big boys. We're gonna start acting like one of the big boys, and we're just out here boasting our financial credibilities right now, getting in some players that we don't necessarily need, but would be nice additions to the squad. I'm just so confused as to why this glitch cutscene is still in the game, or what I've done to trigger it, because he's holding up a Real Madrid jersey, and also he's posing in a free agent's jersey. Agreed a deal with Watford for Umar Saleh. We've included Traore in the swap deal. Money has in fact been taken from our transfer budget. This transfer is on the record, £15.1 million, yet he's actually playing at Arsenal. Nowhere to be found in our squad hub whatsoever. Traore is gone, and just like in the Valencia Gattuso rebuild, we have been scammed. Just to make matters worse, Brahim Traore is at Watford. Like, that swap deal went through, but we didn't get our player in return. What is going on? I'll try to get that sorted behind the scenes. I got no idea what has gone wrong in the career mode code. We've broken the game time and time again, but here we have it, yet another former Olympic Lyon talent. It's a Lyon prospect traded out for a Lyon prospect. Here, the wonder kid turned baller, Maxence Kakare, arrives from Crystal Palace. This time it's another swap deal. Florent de Silva included in the exchange, plus £36 million. Thankfully, no glitches involved in this one. The deal is over the line. We've been given the green light, and the 27-year-old, experienced in his prime CDM, will be joining us as the news report Soleil signs for Paris FC. Things couldn't be further from the truth. It feels like Freaky Friday right now. However, we go ahead and make yet another purchase, and it is time for another backup wingback. Sometimes when it comes to pursuing multiple trophies and achieving world dominance, you need a bit of magic on your side, and that's why Sir BCHD has expressed his interest in Quentin Merlin, the left-sided playmaker that can do it all for £36.7 million. We agreed to deal with the Belgian outfit Genk. He arrives as a brilliant utility backup option. He is literally a master of that left-hand side, 5'8", a little bit of a nifty nuisance, left back, left wing back, and left mid. The versatility on this guy is crazy. It's been an extremely complicated transfer window, a strange summer to say the least, least, however, our Champions League group has been revealed and we've been drawn into Group F alongside Bayern Munich, Porto and Young Boys. Nice little challenging group there, not too tough, no group of death by any means. However, we got to be on the top of our game if we want to finish top. It's nice because we've started the season by winning the TAKEOVER, which just puts us in good stead. A nice little motivation boost there on penalties, winning 4-3 against Monaco after it finished 3-3 in a 6-goal thriller. Here is our strongest starting 11 again. Some of our Paris FC star boys are out on international duty, as you'd expect. Technically, our only two additions this summer, Kakare and Merlin, both make their spots on the subs bench. Soleil would have joined them there as well, but we all know how that went down. We are well and truly on our way. Season 6, bring it on. I mean, look, we talked our shit, we became French champions, dethroned PSG, but we felt sorry. We gave them back the title this year, losing out by 1 point on the final day, and this year's title race came down to the wire. Our Paris FC again finishing runners up to the big bros, as Monaco and Olympique Lyon claim the top 4, and it's Ajaccio, Nantes, Stade Brestois and Metz all involved in the relegation battle. We already covered our Trophée des Champions win, so that was good omen. Now, it is all about the Champions League. In Group F, we came out on top, undefeated, unscathed with 12 points. That saw us qualify out of the round of 16 to face Ange Postecoglou's Celtic, winning 3-1 on aggregate. Over in the quarterfinals, we destroyed Arsenal. We got revenge on the Gunners for stealing Soleil off us this summer, as in the semi-finals, we came up against the Catalans. We took care of business with a 3-1 win on aggregate, and that sets up a Champions League final against Liverpool. It's the big dance in 2028, and Paris FC are ready to do what PSG have failed to do time and time again. It's win a European trophy and potentially a treble. However, this is what I hate about French career modes. The Coupe Nationale, for some reason, thinks it's so important that it needs to happen after the Champions League final. The French Cup, yeah, we're up against Caen in the final, easily a winnable game. Got a Champions League final to play, so I guess we'll never know. If we take it home tonight, it's game over. Now I'll present to you the legends, the icons we've been able to gather, and the new generational heroes of French football this season, who guided us to a treble-worthy campaign, and it is Rayan Cherki to be our top goal scorer. One of only 2 players to achieve double figures in both categories. It's 45 goal contributions, 35 goals from right wing. He's an absolute stud, alongside Matthias Tell, who really, I thought he was going to fall to the wayside. I've got to give him credit because he has stuck by his word, scoring goals on a consistent basis alongside Arthur Schneider, the Benzema regen, this time up in his production with 19 goals and 2 assists. Delorier Chabot has been a hit ever since we made the deal permanent, 16 goals and 11 assists for the left winger. And Augustin Remy, who has proven to be our best player in terms of ability, but when it comes to production, he's a little bit more modest about it. 23 goal contributions, 14 assists being his main strength, and Timothy Pembele allowed to be an attacking option in at right back, 7 goals and 2 assists for him. Joen Hadjam, who I purposely never replaced throughout this entire rebuild, has lived up to my expectation and smashed through his dynamic potential, now standing at a 92. The Paris FC OGs that are still fighting their way for game time in the senior team are the reason why this is so satisfying. Alongside the collection of vast French talent, trust me guys, I think they could make 3 World Cup finals in a row. That's how serious France are when it comes to footballing ability. It is mere impossible to stop the snail-eating machines, as Chevalier gets himself 11 clean sheets. Here's your look at the entire squad as a whole. Maxence Kakare in his debut campaign with 5 assists, playing a subpar role in the first team, but we've got to admire the entire 28-man roster with 5 players in the 90+ overall rating range. It has been an exceptional feat at Paris FC, our highest valued asset from day one. Augustin Remy, fresh from the youth academy, and don't you worry, Cherki is not too far behind him, valued at 222 mil. It's the clash of blue versus red, England versus France in tonight's heavy juggernaut European battle. You're all familiar with our strongest starting 11. Here's how Liverpool are lining up with Diaz, Darwin Núñez, and Tete, an all South American attacking trident. Barella, Rice, and Milinkovic-Savic in that midfield 3. Timber, Laporte, Frimpong, and Mendes all make up the backline. It all comes down to this. This is the moment. The final dance is going down, and deep it is their second time in the Champions League, and at the second time of asking, they have made the final. It's a strong English contingent present at the Estadio Metropolitano. We're battling it out in Madrid tonight, and our hometown hero from day one, Remy, will be leading the boys out tonight. Let's hope those ribbons on the trophy are blue and white of Paris FC, and we can show PSG how it's done with the all-French method. The boys are ready. As Liverpool kick us off, it will be Gonçalo Ramos to get the ball underway. Giving us a nervy start here, Jurgen Klopp, who's still in charge of Liverpool. Liverpool. Hey, does he ever know when to give it a rest? As Rafinha, ball inside, it's a dangerous cross. Again, we recycle possession, just trying to take control of it, ease the nerves. Crucial for Liverpool here as he tries to redeem himself. The Reds storm their way forward as Luis Diaz, the Colombian, has a sight of goal, and Chevalier nearly had a brain snap. Luckily, it went wide. Pembele cuts back inside, finds Le Pennant, back to Diakite. Diakite over to Schneider, and Alisson wants to take his defender for a spin, and he does. Nearly sends him to the hot dog shop. He finds Darwin Núñez in the middle, and all of a sudden, it's a brilliant stop from Chevalier to deny Liverpool the opener. Back out to Manu Kone. They want a shot from outside the box, and they continue to pass it around like prime 2010 Barcelona as we can start off a counter-attack. How has that deflection happened? And again, Liverpool spur another chance. Now back on over, and it's Rafinha. Chevalier to come out and make himself big. Hajam. Oh, what a challenge. He means business tonight. It's been a cagey first opening affair. Liverpool, with the majority of the chances, we're lucky we're not 1-0, 2-0 down here. We've still got the second 45 to battle it out. If the first half is anything to go by, it's going to be a hard-fought match. Oh, Gonzalo Ramos, it's Chevalier. Get back inside the box, mates. And how have we let that one go? Liverpool take the lead. It's 1-0 thanks to the Portuguese. And it looks like he hasn't been cancelled from that leaked video. The man is back scoring on the big stages, from the World Cup to Champions League final. And Badiashile couldn't get the block in, couldn't clear it off the line. Just shambolic defending. We've come out in this second half, and we've had to pay the full price. 1-0 Liverpool, and I've got to say it's deserved. Wins the ball back, and Schneider's onside. All of a sudden, our Frenchman in the mix, and he spurned his opportunity, got too excited and blasted it over the bar. We need a goal, and we need it fast. Hajam back through to Diakite. Finds Schneider. Schneider finds a perfect ball inside to Remy, and Alisson gets his fingertips to it. First corner of the match for us, believe it or not. Ball inside, and the chance is there. It falls to Schneider, and he makes no mistake. The number 11 earns his Champions League final celebration. And from the corner, first set piece, Liverpool couldn't defend it, and Paris FC proven too much. He does the Mbappe celebration. Pure shithousery from Benzema's regen. As it fell straight into his path, it was a little karate scissor kick from point blank range, his first real attempt all night, and he makes up for that beautiful opportunity he missed earlier on. And Sir BCHD's boys are back in the game. Liverpool on another counter attack, doing our best to try and stop this one, as it's through to Brahim Diaz, and oh my goodness, Chevalier with the save of the century. And Gonzalo Ramos is off. They're bringing on more firepower. I think that is Darwin Núñez, a bold Darwin Núñez at that. He finds an option outside, Badjam. And now look who it is. It's Sholbay on the inside. Cuts around his defenders. Wants to find a shot. And Diakite now. It has fallen to Le Pennant. And Alisson again saves Liverpool from going behind for the first time in this match. Interception there from Diakite. Is that going to be costly for Liverpool? A nice little pirouette. Schneider's onside. As Cherky in a bit of trouble. But he finds an option. Le Pennant through, back on over to Remy. Remy finds Schneider again, and Schneider makes no mistake. It's an absolute rocket into the top left-hand corner. And when the big chances have arrived, this man has served up a world-class finish. Two of our best players on the pitch combining and sending Paris FC faithful into raptures. The streets of the Champs-Élysées tonight will be celebrating with scenes, flares and all. Could that be the final dagger in Liverpool's coffin? Only time will tell, but what a moment. Our defense, it's all over the place. 90th minute, it's Darwin Núñez! And Chevalier prevents the game from going into extra time. The Uruguayan fumbles the bag, but it's a world-class stop. Chauvet just punches that one forward. Ball over the top. And Liverpool's defense all push forward. Now Schneider with the chance to officially end the game. He sweats it across to Remy. And he does what he does. This is what they do. The two French generational talents on the big stage. Celebrating right in front of the Liverpool fans. It's glory. It's the moment. Liverpool pushed all their numbers forward in search for an equaliser. One ball over the top was enough to crack them. And Schneider did the unselfish thing. Was on a hat-trick in a Champions League final. And laid it off to his captain. And Paris FC are now crowned champions of Europe. We get to lift the Holy Grail. It took Sir BCHD 6 seasons with a youth academy French-based approach. Wonder Kid signing after Wonder Kid signing, and from Ligue 2 now to top of world football, dethroning PSG and showing them who the real team in Paris are. We did it the old-fashioned way. No oil money rich takeover, no billionaire buying our club. We just had to work with what we got. Attracted the right type of talent and players to the team, and they formed an irreplaceable bond. end. And now I'm sure the Paris FC dynasty will be lasting for years and years to come, as it's another rebuild in the books. Our first French-based challenge in FIFA 23, and we've absolutely knocked it out of the park. So if you did go on to enjoy this one, make sure to drop it a like down below, hit subscribe, turn on the notifications if you want to be staying up to date with all the content coming out on the channel. Trust me, end of 2022, 2023, we're going hard, people. Follow me on all my socials, the links will be down in the description. As you know, I've been Sir BCHD. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys on the very next video. I'll leave you with the Champions League celebrations. Go ahead and enjoy.
I just can't never lose. I know they mad, I'm on the move. Step to me, better duck, goose. Pedal to the metal, never slowing up, zoom. I'm the flies in the room. Smoking reefer, smell the fumes. To the stars, to the moon, to the stars, to the moon, to the stars, to the moon. Out here, it's a fight for survival. Flexing on my rivals. Posey, bitch, I'm psycho. Every year is my year. I'm never dreaming with my eyes closed. Bad boy like a Michael. Shout out to my idols. Rest in peace, of time blows by like a cyclone. Every day I'm feeling fiends. Got me on my bankroll. Phone calls, labels. Money on the table. Offers left and right, left and right. I can't decide. Ride or die, suicide. Peace of mind, I try to find. Money in my